Good afternoon, friends. On behalf of the Press Information Bureau, I welcome all my media friends from Mumbai for this interaction with Mr. Chanchal Sarkar, Economic Advisor in the Finance Ministry, Department of Economic Affairs. I request Mr. Sarkar to say a few words about the 2 days G20 Global Financial Inclusion meeting, which concluded today, and also about the symposium that was held today, where there were very eminent speakers speaking about the various aspects of global financial inclusion.
Thank you. Thank you. As you know that this 3 days meeting started on 14th and ended today. Yesterday and today was the formal plenary along with the symposium. Symposium, you know that it was on energizing SME sector through digital public infrastructure, and today's symposium was on digital public infrastructure and consumer protection and literacy. And then we had discussions on, as per the agenda, on the conclusion of the ongoing Financial Inclusion Action Plan, 3 years, that started in 2021 and will be ending this 2021. The agenda was implementation of high-level digital, the high-level principles for digital financial inclusion. Then there was a progress report on the progress on reducing remittance cost. Then on the SME sector, the good practices, update on the examples of best practices across the globe, how to enhance the finances of SME sector, because SME sectors have always been priorities. Even in the leaders' declaration, SME sectors have been emphasized for attaining sustainable development by creating more opportunities and employment. So that has been the journey, and also we had very fruitful discussions on them. And Brazil also had presented their initial priorities, how about to go on the financial inclusion, and their priorities on the quality of financial inclusion and the well-being of financial well-being of individual and entities. So all the discussions were there, and you know that the today's morning discussion and the symposium was on the advancing financial inclusion through digital public infrastructure, empowering consumers through digital and financial literacy. The symposium was addressed by Shri Harshavardhan Shringla, Chief Coordinator G20 India, Dr. V. Anant Nageshwaran, Chief Economic Advisor, Ministry of Finance, Government of India, Shri K.V. Shaji Kumar, Chairman NABARD, which saw very rich discussions how to use the digital financial infrastructure. And the second one was the consumer protection, where a panel, 5 panelists were there. They also discussed how modern technologies can be used to address the financial literacy and the consumer protection. However, it was also mentioned that responsible use of digital financial services will be important, and no amount of digital may be enough unless digital literacy are improved. It was also highlighted that that it has to be responsible. The rules and regulations alone cannot prevent risks and cyber crime and such other things. So it was both responsible from the supply side and demand side. Regulators were also encouraged to allow innovations so that these kind of problems can be solved through innovative methods. So with this, there was a very rich discussions, and we had very fruitful discussions and go ahead. And it was also endorsed again and appreciated the India presidency's deliverables, which is G20 policy recommendations for advancing financial inclusion and productivity gains through digital public infrastructure, and also the new FIA, Financial Inclusion Action Plan, for next 3 years, starting from 2024 to 26. So that is it, and thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Now we'll throw the floor open for questions. So please introduce yourself and your organization before asking. Sanjay ji, would you like to start?
Mr. Sarkar, I was there the other day also, Sanjay Zog from the Blitz India. Last press conference you talked about digital public infrastructure, how to take it forward, a kind of a comprehensive strategy that can be worked out and discussed here. So in this 2 days, deliberations, is there any kind of a comprehensive plan being worked out how India can play an interesting role in this vis-a-vis the other countries can take the advantage with, again, a global south in focus? That's the one question. And the second thing you talked about the other day also and today about the consumer protection or those people who are unbanked, not having any identity or any kind of an approach to this new kind of a technology. So how these participants are also eager to take this, digital technology and its use rather in their own respective countries, considering the India experience. Can you throw some light on these two questions?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. As you know, this is a G20 forum, and it's a conglomeration of 19 countries, and now with the advent of African Union, so 2 Union, European Commission, and so this is a G20 for no individual country. I mean, this G20 as I said, has unanimously endorsed the 2 documents, very important document on advancing financial inclusion through digital public infrastructure, including FIA. The G20 policy recommendations clearly give the way to advance financial inclusion by using the digital public infrastructure, which way that can include the excluded huge number of people. 1.4 billion people are still unbanked. So DPI is a method that these policy recommendations have clearly pointed out, citing examples, various countries, including India's. So therefore, when the countries go back and they try to see and implement all these recommendations in their countries. As far as interest on DPIs, that is India's model, as I said, that there are very good significant interest among various countries, including Global South. And in fact, during the course of our presidency, we have signed MOUs with number of countries on and good number of interest, and that various stages of implementation of MOUs to take forward and have understanding on DPIs.
So, Shama from Doordarshan. Yeah. So, there was a presentation on the final draft on the report of SME, best practices and innovative instruments. What are these innovative instruments, and could you highlight some of these best practices?
See, these best practices are based on the country's self-reporting. So essentially the countries, those they feel that these are the good practice and they found results. These are also available on the website, and it will be also the updated version will also be made available soon. For example, the India case of India, the examples of frictionless credit, the account aggregator systems, and then ONDC, this kind of examples the countries are sharing. So this kind of where the SME sector, they face problems and collateral while getting loans and other things. So the practice, that's the frictionless loan and other things, these have been indicated. I'm giving an indicative examples. So these kind of practices have been shared so that the other countries get to know about this, and with a view that they can also try and explore.
Is there any kind of a special kind of a message to the other countries here? What was his submission at the today's workshop here?
Yeah, Dr. Nageshwaran, he participated virtually. He was not well, actually. So despite that, he made it a point, and he was precisely pointing out that only rules will not be enough. There has to be a good will. There has to be a responsible use of technology, and only the regulator. It's not the job of only the regulators. Consumers, we should also, and service providers also, we should be responsible. So with regard to this consumer protection, that was his message. And also he said that we must make use of the innovative technologies, including DPI, to solve the kind of the scale and mammoth problems that the entire world is facing in terms of including the left out people and SMEs. So therefore, while we must be careful about the risks and challenges of new DPIs and literacy, we must also make use of these new innovative technologies.
Thank you. So, Dominic here from Synergy. Just wanted to know a few highlights which I have seen on the day one, like ONDC and DPIs, whether it was very much like we have very much impressive to other countries, whether they have anything particularly they liked. Obviously, they must have given a lot of feedback. So, you just wanted to know with a few highlights of ONDC or DPI. Say.
Yes, as you know that ONDC and Procter of Singapore, they wanted to showcase their pilot. So they were showing how it will work. Actually, it is not that the trade has already started on that. So they are giving the technical aspects of it, and a lot of countries were watching it with great interest, and everybody is waiting how it will go once it is actually implemented. So we all countries are looking forward to it.
Nice to know.
Sir, namaskar. My name is Gaurav Narula. Sir, as you already talked about doing something with collaterals, easy norms for loans for SME, sir, could you throw a light on the credit guarantees which you are talking about in this GPI-FI meet? So, what exactly would you be doing to make a more easy system, as government is also talking about ease of doing business? So what kind of support system would be created with credit guarantees?
Thank you very much. I would request you to refer to the G20 process and its documents. G20 is a voluntary. G20 is one of the most economically powerful platform, multilateral platform. Its deliverables are reports, advocacy, and recommendations which are voluntary in nature. So the G20's work is to suggest and assimilate and advocate. So this kind of policy issues are to be adopted that have been found effective across the globe. So therefore they agree, all the leaders and all participants of the countries and organizations, they agree that the best practices and other things and the work, the G20 does not implement those. It is the countries when they go back and then they try to implement based on these recommendations and the roadmap. So therefore, it's the country. It will depend on how they will behave. So therefore, it depends on each country how they want to plan based on the examples.
Sir, lastly, about the financial literacy. So, what kind of awareness programs would be created for the financial literacy? Could you throw a light on that?
Again, it is the responsible department or ministry within the country. I think Reserve Bank of India has a huge department, and they are doing really very good work. In fact, the concerned CGM was there in the panel, and she was explaining their ombudsman the other process. So, Reserve Bank of India are in the forefront of organizing this, and I was told that they are in the process of they run this their programs and awareness and on a continuous basis, and then I have reason to believe that they will upscale that, and then we also have a very fruitful discussions that it will be upscaled.
So, Krishna Raj from News Trends. So, I'd like to know have there been any identification of the gaps or vulnerabilities when it comes to consumer protection in general in these countries? Has there been any study done or like any approach there? Like,
See, the gaps, and for example, that 1.4 billion people are still outside of the formal banking system. This is not the study done by the G20. This G20 does use of other documents and reports. I mean, produced by international organizations like World Bank, IMF, or similar other organizations. So therefore, these are the documents, and also the G20 documents are used to find the current status, and the countries do come up with their problems. In fact, there is no dearth of study finding out and indicating what are the problems for financial inclusion of individual as well as SMEs.
so, any actionable areas, any common actionable areas here?
Yes, so this financial inclusion action plan, the backdrop of which is that 1.4 billion people are still outside of the formal banking system. The G20 2030 SDG agenda that is nearby. I mean, only 6-7 years are left, and then global universal, financial inclusion. That has been the target and aspiration, vision of the Financial Inclusion Action Plan. So if you kindly go through that, it is available on website also. So you will find those. Thank you.
On behalf of Press Information Bureau and all the friends in the media here in Mumbai, I thank Mr. Chanchal Sarkar for this media interaction, and I wish him all the best for his future meetings of G20. Thank you, sir.